Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Appalachia Prospecting. I'm your host, Wayne Thornton. I've been digging and scratching in these brooks for over 40 years now. Tells you how old I am. Hey, if you want to win Wayne's Gold, become a subscriber and you can have a chance of winning that. Shout out to the Northern Prospectors out of Littleton, New Hampshire. They got a little rock shop. He was the winner. All of the first 500 subscribers, are right back in. So keep going. We hit 1,000. Someone's going to win that. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching our show. Wayne on the Rocks Part B will be coming shortly after this one. We're going to do a Back at the Mine show, but we'll get into that later. We've got some pretty cool ore that we're showing here, and came from, the Pacific Northwest. I've got some from Colorado on the eastern flank of the Rockies. So it's going to be really fun to see all this stuff crushed up. I also got a good friend, Tom Birch. He's going to be going through it for me and assaying it and getting it right down to whatever mesh he goes to, and it's way past what I deal with. So can't wait to see that. We're actually going to film him doing it. That ought to be a lot of fun. I just want to say to everybody, these are shots from, time after time, so I may repeat myself a little bit, which it is what it is, sorry. And there is a little clip in there where I repeat myself, but it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Are you ready? Let's go. Come on. Hey guys, welcome back to Northern Appalachian Prospecting. I'm your host, Wayne Thornton. Been digging and scratching into brooks for over 40 years. Check this out, guys. This is a major rock formation that rolled itself right up on one another. Look at this. Comes right up and around. Isn't that cool to see this on how hot this earth got at one time? I'll try to get a little closer so you can see it. Look at this. There's the contact right here. Makes a contact right up and around. Really cool to see this. See how blocky and the way that the rock is running at its cleavage plane? All right. And then you come around here, and this one rolled itself right up and around. Crazy shit. If you don't believe this earth got hot, you better take a look at these type of formations. Alright everybody, well here's a big old quartz vein for you. You see way across the valley on that mountain? That is white rocks. That is called the Cheshire Quartz Formation. That runs all the way from Bennington all the way up in, I think, the Bay of Labrador is where it pitches off. But I know it runs the whole western flank of Vermont. On the greens, it's on the western flank. It is not the part of the tectonics. That runs the whole western flank of the Green Mountains. And what comes with that? When that was pushed up through, this grindy, white, oily, nasty, sticky shit come up with it called the kaolin clay deposits. So look all this up. This is some fun geology. And as you're going up Route 7, like into Brandon and them different areas, you'll see that same exact rock right there, the Cheshire Quartz Formation. And there is gold associated with the Cheshire Quartz. That is why Mendon Brook, Cold River, a little bit of Mill River has some gold particles in it, is because it also has association with that big giant quartz vein. Hey guys, I thought I'd show you something pretty cool. We're up in Timoth, Vermont, and this is called Table Rock. This is actually pretty funny. How do you think this big rock got here, guys? It got moved by the glaciers. So this rock was sat here, and people for years have made these chairs and shit around it. It's kind of cool. I just remember as a little kid driving by this thing saying, what the frig? Well, it's kind of cool now that years later they just made this what they call Table Rock. Kind of cool. Just getting off the beaten path a little bit from our quartz veins, but it's fun to show cool shit like this. Right. Well, here's another indication that I'm getting close to some quartz. See how the rock's all going up like this? See it? Try to get closer so you can see it more straight on. There it is. Rock's going right up. Look at how much glacial till was bulldozed over this. You cannot see this from the ground. It's buried. So I want to take you along a little walk. Same thing right here. See this? All right. Now, as we get over here, look at this. This becomes a a great big quartz vein right here. Runs right down the mountain. Now I'm almost 100% sure that I'm standing on the contact between the West Castleton Schistry and the Bird Mountain conglomerate, because look at this rock now. The rock now is straight, flat. All right. So the contact, the Bird Mountain is here, and the West Castleton's over here. This right here, look at all this. Look at this quartz. This is all quartz vein right here. It runs right with this shale bed. Now notice how the rocks are going to change from this area into this quartz bed over here, and then flat. Rocks completely go flat right up here. Even the cleavage comes out flat. It's crazy. Check this out over here. All right, so I took some of this with me to analyze it. I'm pretty sure this is the contact right here. Look at this. See this shale? Then you go right up to the white quartz. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the vugs in it. I don't think I'd waste my time crushing this. I'd be more interested in the stuff that's heavily sulfided. A lot of minerals in it. Even this I wouldn't be too crazy to crush. I grabbed some and I took it up with me. As you can see, I've kind of cleaned it up right here a little bit. So just push this around a little bit. Should have my hammer with me. What dumbass geologists don't go around without a rock hammer, right? And I'm not a geologist. Just 20 years of trying to figure this shit out. And once you get it figured out, it's a lot of fun. Look at this. All right, so these quartz beds in some areas, which the West Castleton Schistry is part of this gold-bearing area here. And the reason why I say that is because the gold in the West Castleton Schistry in the veins that it contacts are very, very tiny, just above nano. If you've got a jeweler's loop, maybe. I've only seen one tiny itsy bitsy little thing, and I got it home and I crushed it and I couldn't find it. But you see how all the quartz is like decimated? It's got kind of chunky and broken up. Well, because we're standing on a fault. So this is pretty cool to see. Look at these, very highly mineralized. So I'm going to grab the other ones. I'm going to bring them home and we're going to take a look at them, and then we're going to go ahead and crush some, see what's in there. So there you go. Here's a contact between two rock bodies. The West Castleton Schist, which came up in the Cambrionic time, Cambrian, and the Bird Mountain conglomerate. Pretty cool. If you like rocks. So where we just were, we were taking a look at that shaly type West Castleton Cambrionic time rock. Well, this is what it is. I mean, it's a very heavy metallicized rock, a lot of iron in it, a lot of metamorphism going on. Look at this. I mean, these just mean hot rock, just all molten together. Another cool thing is the size of that bug right there. See that right there at the end of my thumb? That's a hole that goes all the way through. That's called a vug. That means hot geothermic fluids came right up in here and blew through there. So what I do is I knock off these little pieces that'll come off and I throw them through the crusher. And I have seen nanoparticles of gold after I put them through my Tom Love. I know how to identify this because my good friend Jeff Slade is a geologist out of North Bennington, and he's worked together on kind of getting my head screwed on straight on getting some of this stuff identified. And I'll be darned, you know, you start looking at it and understanding, don't forget the Cambrionic time. But this is kind of rock I like finding. And I know exactly where this comes from. If you get up close to it, there's all kinds of little tiny quartz crystals in there. Well, that just means that this got hot and cold, and just kept doing it. But these are fragments. What does fragments mean, guys? When all your rock all pretty much looks the same and is fragmented. Huh? This is a hot rock. This is one of the first rocks that I was with Jeffrey Slade. And he had, I can't remember, it was a gold probe looking thing. And we hit this and it tested positive. And this came out of a very famous area. If most of you can identify this. What's this here? What's that rock? Huh? All right. So this was another piece of that rock as well. So have a little fun, crack up some of this, take a look at it, make sure you got a good crusher, which you will be seeing us soon with the crusher. That's going to be our next video after this one. We've got one more quartz vein to come to. You guys got to really check this one out. And don't forget Zion Mountain up by Hubbardton Battlefield, which is now the Chinese Water Gardens. That is a quartzite plug too. There is quartz crystals up in there. Please obey. Don't take anything out of there. So yeah, glad you guys are enjoying the show. Not all quartz produces gold because there's I will show you soon on what they call pig quartz. This is not pig quartz. I'm just kind of showing it to you. Look at this. 2 veins right up there. Isn't that cool? Bull quartz is that big, white, heavy-duty stuff, you know, that you see on a contact that isn't during the Cambrionic time. You have to understand the Cambrionic time is when the gold come up. Most of the gold come up in Vermont. So, yeah. Let's go check that other quartz vein out, all right? Hold on. Well, everybody, I wanted to show you some big quartz veins. See this vein right here? Runs all the way up through this quarry. We're standing right in the middle of Pulteney. This is the slate belt that runs all north and south. But you can see these giant overthrusts right here with all these quartz veins going right up it. Look at the stockworks like right here. Look at this. Holy crap. And this I do believe is called the hang wall. And then your foot wall would be way down there, I do believe is how they do that. But check this out, guys. I mean, this is a big quarry hole over here that's still producing. But the veins are just crazy. Now, I've been told that there sometimes is gold associated with some of these veins. But remember, you got to be part of the Cambrionic time. And this is not. This is the Pulteney Formation. And there's a couple other. There's some equipment way up there. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the show. Big quartz veins. And that means that overthrust had come right up from east to west. It came just like this. Whoop. Crazy. All right, guys. Well, everybody, that's our big mountain. This is the one that they say was our volcano. This is Mount Ascutney. Let me get a little closer so you can see it. But there's a lot of fissure zones that come off this big mountain that create some gold in this area. Is it heavy with gold? No. Does it have some gold? Yes. So check out big areas like this that used to be volcanics. Volcanics equal gold, guys. Now from a topographical map, you look down at this thing and it looks like there were lava beds that came through here. I don't know if it did or not. All right, everybody. You want to know where all the gold's coming from in Vermont? Well, it's right here. This is the quartz vein that Taggart, all of them have chased. Okay? Right there. It's all part of one particular belt. What is that? Go look. And here is the other one right here. Yeah, right there. Okay, guys, this is the same belt. This is just chunkier, blockier quartz. Hey, everybody. Here's a cool little fact here. This is the West Castleton schist. Check this out. Look at this piece of quartz right here that went right back on itself. This place was hot and bubbling at one time. And this is what's kind of cool about this, is you can see the West Castleton schist. This is the only gold-bearing rock that came up during the Cambrionic time. See the stringers? Them are big pieces of quartz. I mean, look at this. The whole river course is full of these, and most of your rock that you're going to find at your bottom is very light, right here, look at this one. Black sands, but the gold is fine, very fine. So it's pretty cool to see this kind of stuff. Look at this one right here. Boom! Look at the size of that thing. Yes, the cross cut, and then poop poop quartz. So this is what I'm talking about when Cambrionic time. There's other Cambrian rocks that come with this, but we're over in the Tectonics, remember. See, here's another one. So this is all just quartz. So right there, where that tree is, there's a gravel bar. And this is where you would dig in the tectonics. I don't dig deep. I don't get crazy. I find a little gravel bar or even a sandbar. Sandbar is actually better because our gold is so small that it follows that. The light gold will be in the sand. Your little tinier flakes will be kind of like below the sand a little ways, like about a foot or so. But if you look over here, so I don't fall on my head. Do this, another uprising. Do that. Just quartz everywhere. And this is the right rock for gold. That rock right there on the other side of the little plunge pool right here, and this is a plunge pool. There's usually a big trout in there. All that dirt right there, I have gone through and found gold in it. And it's, the Pulteney River right now is really, really low. So, you know, if you're going to come out adventuring, it'd be kind of fun to do. You know, check your grasses, check your... Alright guys, I want to show you the difference in quartz here. I have different samples, so we'll get these off to the side. And this here came from a schist in West Castleton, Vermont, known as the West Castleton schist. And if you look in there real close, I'll try to get close without too much, you can see quartz crystals forming. They're way in there. Same way on the other side. They're starting to clear. Look at that vug right there. There's some hot fluid that got squirted up through that. Now this one here is part of the West Castleton schist as well. Notice how there's the slate and that schist melted morph. Look at this. It's just part of it. It's crazy. Look at the iron. Okay. This is all going to be crushed up in the mill. This is more decimated into smaller pieces. You get into this quartz, boys and girls, and you get into gold. I have not yet ever found an area that where I find this heavily, I don't come out with a smile on my face. So let me get down there so you can see it. Hopefully the sun's not killing us. But when you get in close, see how it starts to look like glass in here? Same thing, that's broken up quartz. And then it got reheated and cemented together. This right here, I would much rather see than this. Okay? So I'm going to take this one and put it over here. This right here came out of the gold belt in Bridgewater, Plymouth, Tyson area, Reading. This is the same type of rock that you see, but when it gets that rich and juicy, you may want to start paying attention. Okay? Here's another piece of it right here. Back in my day, I would bust this stuff down with a hammer, take a few to the cheek, and I would put it in a mortar and pestle, and yes, there was gold every frickin' time. Was it massive stuff? No. But was it good stuff? It was enough to put a smile on your face, and I know where this came from. Now, I think I had Jeffrey Slade look at this, and he said this is part of the Greenstone Volcanic Belt. And he had one of them gold things with a probe on it, and he went like this and went, woo, woo. So... these rocks are gold bearing, okay guys? Whenever you're digging and you start to find this down in the gold belt, you know damn well you're onto some goodies. Look at this. Look at the magnetite right there. Crazy. Okay, so I got two other samples, which is kind of fun. This one here came from Colorado. Okay, I bought some ore from a couple of people that I really like watching, and they're not thieves. So when you start looking at this guy all the way in Colorado, I mean, you know, there's a high mineralization in there. Look at the sparkles in here. I mean, this is just really high mineralization. And kind of cool. I'm sure it happened probably in the blast or whatever, but there's a micro crack that goes down through here. And with this all cleaned up, I mean, you can see magnetite beds. Look at this. It's crazy. Okay? So this is going to be a lot of fun. Look at all the, I mean, just in this little rock, the stockworks in here. Look at this. Crazy. Okay? So this one came from the Pacific Northwest. This came from Mount Baker Mining and Metals. Jason, I support him. I support his channel. He's a straight shooter. I like how he makes mistakes and goes back over them and says, hey, you know, this is what you got to do to correct them. But notice how much harder and solid that is compared to that puppy. Okay, so when you get into looking at this and you get in real close, I'll try to get there. See all that? That's sulfides, guys. And in them little tiny bugs way in there, right there at the tip of my fingernail, them are gold bearing. And I've seen this. I've cracked this stuff up just with a hammer, and I've actually seen gold in this stuff. This is why I cut it open, because just looking at this, you guys are going to say, ah, he found that out and there's a river near him. No, guys, no. This is the shit that you find near me, okay? Period. So, really, really cool stuff. And then I've got another piece that, let's see, this guy right here. Look at this guy. All right. This will be the last of it, so I don't bore you too bad. But when you start looking at something like this and you see veins of sulfides and iron, you take a peek. Plus, this also came out of an area known as Zion Hill or Zion Mountain in Hubbardton. That is where the state has a Chinese water garden. It's open to the public. This was a piece down by the parking lot, so I called it float and took it. So I will return it if I want to. But look at the massive sulfides in this, okay? Now, Zion Hill is part of the Nassau Formation. It's lower Cambrian, composed of massive greywacke and sub-greywacke. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful quartzite plug to go and look at. But I also know personally the owners of the backside of that. I sure do. So, a lot of fun. But look at all this mineralization in this. It's crazy. And I feel that the contact between the Bull Formation and the Nassau is where some of that gold came from in the Hubbardton Gorge. I think it came right out of this type of schistery. You know, look at this guy. It's trying to terminate. Look at that right there. That's cool. All right, so just to pull back a little bit, look at the difference in quartz, guys. All right, so don't get boondoggled if you see this big, giant, big white rock and it's got, you know, a little mineral staining. Take a hammer. Bring a hammer with you. Chip it. Break it. Break it up. Take a look. Don't forget to wear a glove because you will cut yourself to the bone. Been there, done that. Way up in the woods. Another dumb shit move. I was up there and I was cracking quartz like this, holding on to it and whacking it with a hammer. One of them shards come off there and cut me right to the bone. Here I am, miles in the woods, and you guys can rest assured, thank God I'm not a panicky guy. I just kind of put my hand back together like this and just held it like a fist and just headed for home. That's all. But yeah, that was the story. So anyways, there you go, guys. Different quartz. Oh, there's the juicy ones right here. Oh yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying Wayne on the Rocks. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you much. Alright, we can't say that wasn't too bad. I mean, I got out, I got around, I searched around Vermont looking for different pieces of quartz. And it always seems that same thing, that, you know, the same vein that Taggart moved, that same formation that runs through there. Everybody needs to learn what it is. Lots of fun. I really had a lot of fun taping that. But it's going to be even more fun with part B to this. And that's when I grind it up and see what the hell is here. And what's kind of nice about it is I can do them in small little jars. And I can label them and give them to Tommy Birch, which is going to be doing my final analysis right down to as fine as he goes. And he goes fine. He's done a lot of my gold for me. And it's like, wow. Good job, Tom. He's also a member of NAP, Northern Appalachian Prospecting. Go check us out on Facebook. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really need a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up here and there. I just think it's been great. We're going to return to the mine in the next one. Now, the mine is an entertainment purpose only. What I'm doing is actually pulling the dirt up, and I'm going to sift it. And I'm going to use the bed rocks and the tinier rocks to build a base for my sawmill. And you guys can all watch us. If you want to come along, keep watching. So that's what I'm doing. But in the meantime, all that light powder, filtery stuff, I'm going to send it through a reclaimed trommel. So the trommel will be running, and I can put all the powdery stuff there, but I have a sifter bucket for that little mini excavator, and I want to be able to trap rocks and build a bed. So this is for entertainment purposes only. So don't worry about when the state or whatever, we're putting in a big mine. No, that's not what's happening. We're just cleaning up, and I know I live in an old riverbed, so I might as well take a look at the sands that I'm going to dig up, right? I mean, wouldn't you? But in the meantime, I also bought some equipment for the mine, and man, whatever can go wrong goes wrong. I get it, but man, sometimes you're just like, geez. So anyways, you'll see this in the next shot, because we'll be at the mine. But weighing on the weighing on the rocks, we're going to be doing that really, really soon, part B of crushing. And that should be some fun. So anyways, everybody, thanks again. I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. Northern Appalachian Prospecting, out.